Alright everyone, welcome to this video, which is gonna be about a tier maker. So right here I have a whole bunch of FNF covers listed into the tier maker, and I'm gonna be ranking all of my 50 FNF covers that I released through 2024 through 2025, and yeah, I thought I would just do this video to, you know, like, make this for fun, I guess. But yeah, and yeah, let's get started. So first off, we have the MX vs. Girlfriend Joyous cover, which was released July 31st, 2024. So this was actually the first FNF cover I released when I first started this channel. And yes, I'm a fast learner of making FNF covers, and I will say this cover it's a pretty cool cover that I did, and it does sound really cool because, you know, it's Joyous is like a Lord X song, so I thought I would do a cover of MX, and I thought doing Girlfriend instead of Boyfriend would kind of be like a good idea instead of having to do a Boyfriend cover. And yeah, but anyways, I think for this one, I think I'm gonna put it in probably an S. I think that's just kind of my opinion. Alright, the next one is the Boyfriend vs. Gold Darnell Wet Fart cover, which was released August 2nd, 2024. And this is my second FNF cover, and I decided to do a Hypno's Lullaby cover instead of a Mario's Madness cover because, well, honestly, I think I kind of like Gold from Hypno's Lullaby, and I do like his song Monochrome in it, and I thought I could do a cover of it, or of him, sorry, and I think the cover of him and Boyfriend in Darnell Wet Fart is like a pretty cool idea. So yeah, and I think this cover of the Darnell Wet Fart Gold and Boyfriend cover is pretty cool, so I'm also gonna put that in S, but I don't know if I want to put it in the first place, but I think it's just gonna be behind this one. Yeah. And the next one, which is Indie Cross vs. Mid-Fight Masses Unbeatable cover, which was released August 7th, 2024. And I will say this is the cover that I took a while on because it was really huge, and this cover, I will say, is very, very huge, and you know, I did this cover because I am a fan of Indie Cross and Mid-Fight Masses, and I thought I could do like a Mario's Madness cover of both of them, and the song Unbeatable is what I chose, and yeah, and I know Unbeatable is kind of like an impossible song to like do a cover on, but I managed to do the impossible, and yeah, and it's definitely gonna be an S. Alright, but it's gonna be right in front of these two because it is like the best cover ever. Alright, so the next cover is the Coronation Peach vs. Girlfriend Dark Forest cover. So, and this was released in September 15th, 2024. And, you know, I will say, I decided to do this cover, but I don't know why I even think of that, because well, it's not really like the best cover ever, and it's not like really that important, and well, I thought I would just do this cover because I felt like making a Coronation Peach cover, and yeah, I think that's why. But either way, it's not really that important of a cover, but it's not too bad. So I think I'm just gonna put it in like a B tier. Yeah. Anyways, the next one is the Horror Mario vs. Sonic.exe Must-See Pula cover, and I gotta say, this was actually my favorite cover for Horror Mario and Sonic.exe because, well, basically we got Mario vs. Sonic, but as creepypasta characters singing a song from Cartoon Cat together, and that was like my favorite cover, and I think it was pretty cool. So, because we got like our favorite Plumber and Hedgehog as creepypasta characters singing together, and yeah, it's basically what everyone likes, a Horror Mario vs. Sonic.exe cover, and yeah, and I'm so gonna put this in S because, yeah, I just said the reason, but it's not like the craziest like the Unbeatable cover, but it's pretty cool. Now the next one is the All-Stars Act 4 vocal retake plus the original lay motives, and this one, I think, well, first of all, the date of this was released in September 18, 2024, and this is what I thought of an idea because I saw the vocal retake of the Act 4, and well, I thought, and also I even saw the one that has the original lay motives one, where when Ultra M is mimicking some of the characters in Mario's Madness with singing out their original lay motives from their original songs. And I thought, what if I like put them together to make this look cool, like the vocal retake and the original lay motives, and I thought that would be a pretty cool idea, and once I released it, I think it was like getting kind of popular, and yeah, and this already kind of like skyrocketed for getting so much views, and yeah, that was pretty cool, and I'm glad that lots of people actually liked it. So I think I'm gonna put this in S, right in front of the Unbeatable cover. The next one is Bendy vs. Mr. L/TooLate.exe Terrible Sin cover, and this was released in September 29, 2024. So, ever since when I played Indie Cross, before V2 actually released, I thought of making an Indie Cross cover, even though I already did make an Indie Cross cover which is the Unbeatable cover, but I thought of making another one, and this one, it's gonna be for Bendy against Mr. L/TooLate.exe, and yeah, I thought I could do something like this because well, Bendy of course is like really tall, and so is Mr. L. Like, they're both tall creatures, and I thought I could put them in a cover together, and yeah, that's why I did this, and yeah. And this one, I think I'm certainly gonna put this in A tier because, well, it is a fire cover, but it's not like the best, like from the ones that are above it, and yeah. Alright. This next one is gonna be the Darnell vs. Ruv Darnell Boyfriend Mix cover, and this was released in October 21st, 2024. So, this cover, ever since we got the FNF update, which is the Pico update, and we got the Darnell cover for the boyfriend, or the Darnell song, Boyfriend Mix, I thought of making a cover since other people were like making covers of it, and I chose Ruv because Ruv I think I thought it could be like a good idea to do a cover of him in this song, so yeah, that was basically like my idea of doing a Darnell Boyfriend Mix cover, and I think I'm gonna put this in A tier. Yeah. And the next cover is another Darnell Boyfriend Mix cover, which this time it is Darnell vs. Tabby, and this was released in October 23rd, 2024. So I decided to do a Tabby cover of this because well, since I did Ruv, I thought I'd decide to do Tabby because, well, I mean, I think I saw one comment saying that was kind of an odd choice, but I just decided to do it because, well, Tabby is kind of a popular character, and I thought I could do like a cover of him, and yeah, that's what I did. I think for this, I'll just put this in like A tier, because it's kind of in the same boat with the Ruv cover, but I mean, I know most of you prefer the Ruv cover better, and well, honestly, I mean, if I had to prefer one, I mean, first of all, they're both good, but if I had to prefer one, I preferred the Ruv cover better just because everyone likes it, and Ruv does sound good in this cover, and yeah. Alright, the next cover is gonna be the Xenophanes vs. Diablo Drop and Roll cover, and this was released in October 31st, 2024, which is the day on Halloween. This video or cover it's meant to be a Halloween special, and yeah, I did release this on Halloween because I thought it could be like a special cover that I'm gonna do. And basically we got some of our main characters in this cover, our main favorite characters, which is Xenophanes and Diablo, which they're both Sonic.exe characters, and honestly, I do like this cover. It's pretty cool, I will say, and I think I'm gonna put this somewhere like an S tier. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but it's gonna be behind the Unbeatable and the All Stars Vocal Retake plus Original Lay Motives cover. Yeah. The next one is gonna be Scorched vs. EXE Silly Billy cover, which it was released in November 8th, 2024. So I decided to do a Scorched and EXE cover because I remember that both Scorched and EXE said the most insane lines, which is, "I will not be replaced," and I thought of doing the cover of these two because, well, they're basically two Sonic.exe characters that try to replace each other, and I thought maybe I could do like a Silly Billy cover of these two. And plus, I really wanted to do a Silly Billy cover, and yeah, here I have it, and I am really happy that I did this cover. And honestly, I think it's gonna be like in an S tier for me. Yeah. The next one is gonna be the MX vs. Hypno Power Down cover, and this is released in November 13, 2024. Now, I will say that, well, I decided to do this cover because we all know that MX and Hypno are actually friends with each other, and that's why we can see that in the original Hypno's Lullaby cover, we see Lord X, MX, and Hypno singing together in Pasta Night, because they are all friends with each other. And I thought of doing a cover of Hypno and MX in the Power Down cover, because they're friends, and yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But I did try to reconsider and instead doing Lord X, but there's already a Lord X cover of it, so yeah, and I thought and I decided to do Hypno because nobody has done a Hypno cover of Power Down, so yeah, and that's what I did. And honestly, I'm gonna put this somewhere like an S tier. Yeah. The next cover is gonna be another Darnell Boyfriend Mix cover, but this time with Darnell against Stare Crown. And this was released in November 26, 2024. I will say that, well, somebody requested me to do a Stare Crown cover, and you know, I will say it was decent enough, but it's not like the best like Ruv or Tabby, but it's good though. I will put this in A, but just behind the Ruv and Tabby covers. And the next one is gonna be the Hank vs. Tricky Oh God No cover. This was released in November 28, 2024. I decided to do this because well, we know that Hank or Tricky hates Hank, like really hates Hank, and of course Hank and Tricky are enemies with each other ever since in the original Madness Combat game, where Tricky always like has beef with Hank, and I thought doing an Oh God No cover for these two, and yeah, and overall I think this cover seems nice, and I'm gonna put this somewhere like an A tier, like probably right there. The next one is gonna be the Expurgation Tricky Sings I Hate You. And this is like the sequel from the Oh God No Hank and Tricky cover. Tricky is in his phase 4, and he has like captured girlfriend and then faces boyfriend in the difference of side of Nevada. And basically, I think it's a pretty cool sequel I did from the Oh God No cover, because it makes sense why I decided to put Tricky in the I Hate You cover, because Tricky really hates Hank so much. Putting him in the I Hate You cover is like such a good idea that I had, and yeah, so this one, I believe I'm gonna put this like right here in the S tier, and yeah. Okay, so the next cover I'm gonna be ranking is another Darnell Boyfriend Mix cover again, and this time we have Secret Histories Mario in it, and this was released in January 6th, 2025. The first 2025 cover I did. So I will say it is pretty good, and it's more or less like the same rank as I would put for the Ruv, Tabby, and Stare Crown ranking, and I do also want to put this in A because it is a pretty good cover, but I think it's in the, like, you could say the third place of 4 of these Darnell Boyfriend Mix covers, and Yeah, okay. Next one is gonna be the Omega / Tanuki.exe sings Big Oats. And this was released in January 12, 2025. I decided to do this cover because I feel like Omega hasn't been getting like that much attention in FNF, because we only get to see him a little bit, and the only time we only saw him is when he's in the All-Stars Act 2 and nothing else. Like, I feel like he wasn't getting, he didn't even get his own song in Mario's Madness, and that's why I feel like making this cover for him so that way he can get at least a little bit more attention in FNF, and yeah. And that's why I did this Big Oats cover for him. And of course, I even added LG, War, and Yosh in it too, so they could also get attention, even though their parts were pretty short. Yeah, I am probably gonna put this in like A tier. Yeah, this next one is gonna be like probably, I will say, the bestest one ever, because this is the All-Stars Act 4 vocal retake and more lay motives in this, and this was released in January 15, 2025. It's basically the same like the original vocal retake plus original lay motives cover in the All-Stars Act 4, but this time it has even more lay motives and more characters in it, and like, dang, this is like one of the best covers that people actually like, because basically it has every single Mario's Madness character in it, and I think the only reason why people actually wanted to actually like this very much is because it's probably because of GX at the end, because like right after the turmoil part, GX appeared right at the end, and then boom, Boyfriend gets completely shut off by Ultra M, and then Ultra M just ends the song with one long note, and then boom. Like, this is the reason why everybody actually liked this so much, and I am for sure gonna put this in S in the first place, because everybody absolutely liked this cover, and like, wow, I am very surprised that everybody just loves this very much. But anyways, the next cover is my first Cartoon Cat cover, which is Cartoon Cat vs. Sonic.exe reruns, which was released February 10, 2025. This cover, I will say, it's a pretty cool cover. Everybody like gave this thing like, I think 100 likes. And yeah, I will say that the reruns cover is like a really cool cover, and everybody did like the rerun song. And you know, I thought of doing a reruns cover for a Sonic.exe character, and I think I saw some people do some of the Sonic.exe covers of reruns, and for me, I only did the original Sonic.exe, which is Xenophanes, and then everyone started to give this like 100 likes, and yeah. But anyways, for this cover, I'm probably gonna put this in S, probably like right here. Yeah, that's where I would place it. Okay. The next one is going to be the Fatal Error sings the Null and Void cover, and this was like released in February 14, 2025. I thought of doing this cover because ever since I played the Corruption Null week, I decided to make a Fatal Error cover, because Fatal Error is all about glitches and errors, and yeah, I thought that could be like an idea for making a Null cover which has Fatal Error inside, and yeah, that's the reason why I did this. And I would probably put this in maybe like an A tier, so I think somewhere like right here. Yeah, that's where I would place it. Now the next one is gonna be the Sonic.exe crew sings That's All Folks, and it was released in February 17, 2025. Some people did watch this cover, and it wasn't really that special to some people, and I think it's probably because it's kind of like an image cover. I know people weren't like really looking forward to image covers. I mean, this cover is not too bad, I will say. It has some of our favorite characters, which is Xenophanes, Lord X, and Magin, and I think I'll probably just put this somewhere like an A tier, because I don't think it's that bad. I think it's a nice cover. Alright, the next one is going to be the Fatal Error Sings Check Disc. Now this is the sequel from the Null and Void cover. This was released in February 2025, and all the editing I did in this cover, it was absolutely insane. And basically I just did all the editings and stuff, and it was actually pretty crazy, not gonna lie, even though it's an image cover, and I think it is like my favorite cover. And Check Disc, I will say, is like the best song in the original Corruption Null Week, and I think this was like my favorite, and I like it quite more than Null and Void, and I'm probably gonna put this somewhere in an S tier, but maybe like, I guess right there. Yeah, that's where I would put it. Okay, I think we're getting a little bit full on the S tier, so I'm gonna try to see if I could make some of them into A tiers, so that way the S tiers will like get full. So the next one is gonna be QT vs Carol Blissful cover, and this was released in February 27, 2025. The QT Rewired mod dropped, and I thought of making an FNF cover of QT with some characters that are like from the classics, but that are really popular. And I think it was kind of a cover choice that I decided to make, and I thought it would be nice to make this. And yeah, it's not too bad of a cover, so I will probably put this in like an A tier, somewhere right there. Alright, the next one is going to be another QT cover. We have KB vs Witty Obliterated, which was released February 28, 2025. This is the next QT cover, technically, but not really, because it's mostly about KB and Witty. And I will say, this was actually my first Witty cover I did, and I've always wanted to do a Witty cover, like from the very beginning, because Witty, he is one of the old characters in FNF, but he is like a fan favorite in the FNF franchise, and I'm so glad that I can do this, so that way our favorite character in FNF could be in this cover, like obliterated. And overall, I will say it's a pretty cool cover that I did, and I do like some of the stuff I did inside of this cover, some transitions, I guess. But the cover itself is really, really good, and I do like it. I think I'm just gonna put this in like an S tier. The next one is gonna be the sequel to the Check Disc Fatal Error cover, and this one is Needle Mouse Sings Bloodlust, and this cover was released in March 5th, 2025. I'm not really that big of a fan of this cover, but I had to do it because Bloodlust is like right after the Check Disc song, and I had to do it before I go deep into the Access Denied cover. You know, I will say that Needle Mouse, I'm not that big of a fan, but I just decided to do it, so that way I can at least have a Bloodlust cover before I do an Access Denied cover. But I mean, I'm not gonna put it in C because it's not too bad. I think I'm just gonna put this in like a B tier. That's where I would put it. Now, the next one, it is the final one, which is the Access Denied cover, and also the sequel to the Bloodlust cover. It was released in March 14, 2025, and the Fatal Error cover of Access Denied is pretty nice, and even though it's an image cover, I can at least give it some praise of it. But it's not really like the best like the Check Disc cover, but it is still a pretty nice cover to listen to, and I do like it quite a bit. So for this one, I'm just gonna put it in like an A tier. Yeah. Okay, So, the next cover I'm gonna be ranking is Cartoon Cat vs. Luna Henderson, Unknown Suffering, and this cover was released in March 15, 2025. This cover it's kind of something that, like the beginning of me doing a lot of FNF covers of Cartoon Cat. I think this cover is not too bad. It's a pretty cool cover, and I know everyone loves Cartoon Cat so much that they wanted me to do lots of covers of him. And I will say, an amazing cover, I will say, but it's not like the best like some of the other covers that are in S, but it's amazing. So they'll probably be like an A tier, like somewhere probably right there. Yeah. Next one is the Double Kill V2 cover with Cartoon Cat and Cartoon Dog singing it. It's released in March 17, 2025. Now, this is the first double kill cover I did. It involves Cartoon Cat and Cartoon Dog, and this cover, it's another Cartoon Cat cover, but this time with him and Cartoon Dog teaming up with each other. People were like already giving this thing like 1,000 views to this cover, and people were starting to like it, and honestly, I think it was also pretty cool. I think it's like a pretty cool cover, and honestly, it absolutely rocks, so I'm gonna put it somewhere like an S tier. I think I'll put it like, probably in, I don't know, maybe like, I guess maybe like right there. Yeah. This one is gonna be the alternative cover. This one is Cartoon Cat and Cartoon Dog versus Xenophanes and Lord X in the That's All Folks cover. Now this cover is actually the alternative version of the Sonic.exe's Crew Sings That's All Folks, and it was released in March 22nd, 2025. People actually liked this a lot. Like, they were giving this tons of views and tons of likes on it, and it's like really better than the other version. I'll be honest, it is pretty cool. It's also a nice cover, but the only negative is that Majin was removed, and like that was the only negative because Majin is removed, and the only ones we got are just Xenophanes and Thordax. That's pretty much it. Yeah, it's at least still a pretty awesome cover. I'll probably put this in like an S tier, somewhere that is probably right there. Okay, the next one is the Confronting Yourself but Cartoon Boyfriend versus Yourself, aka Silly Billy, and this is released in March 25, 2025. This cover, it's actually the first Confronting Yourself and the first ever Cartoon Boyfriend cover ever that I actually did, and like, I will say, it's actually kind of what people like to hear, because basically we have Yourself facing against Boyfriend, which is actually not Boyfriend but Cartoon Cat shape-shifting into Boyfriend. I like this cover a lot. It's pretty cool, and I'll maybe put this in S tier, but maybe like right there. Okay, now this next one is gonna be kind of a boring cover. This one is Sonic.exe versus Slenderman Too Slow Encore, and this was released in March 26, 2025. I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of a boring cover, and it's not really that special. I mean, Too Slow Encore, it used to be pretty cool, but I mean, maybe in the past it was, but now I think it was pretty much outclassed by other songs that were in the now. And honestly, it's just kind of whatever. I think it's not gonna be like in the B tier. I honestly feel like putting it in C because it's just kind of a boring cover, and yeah. The next one is the Exterion versus Hog cover in the Oh God No cover, and yes, I did make another Oh God No cover, and it was released in March 28, 2025, and this cover, I will say it's not really that special. It's just not really like the best cover like the Hank versus Tricky Oh God No cover. It's honestly just kind of a whatever cover, and to be honest, it's slightly not that interesting. I mean, I don't want to put it in C because it's not too bad, I guess, but honestly, I think I'll just put it in somewhere like a B tier. Yeah. Anyways, The next one is the Cool Rash Mario.exe versus MX Pyromania cover. This one is released in March 29, 2025. And this cover, I will say, it's like my first Pyromania cover and also my first Cool Rash Mario.exe cover. And someone requested me to do this cover, and I will say this cover is pretty cool because we got Cool Rash Mario.exe, which is kind of everyone's favorite, and then we got MX, which is absolutely everyone's favorite. And overall, it's pretty cool, I will say. Honestly, it's gonna be somewhere like S tier again. Oh dang, there's too much in S tiers, man. I think I really gotta chill out with the S tiers. Alright, but the next one is, this one is the cover that I made on my own, which is Mr. L versus I Hate You Luigi Versiculus Erratus cover. It was released in March 30, 2025. Honestly, I think it's a nice cover. It's not really like the best like some of the other ones that are on top, but I mean, we at least got I Hate You Luigi, which is a really important character, and Mr. L, which is also an important character. And honestly, this cover is not too bad because we got two Luigis that are really having some furious beefs with their brothers Mario. I Hate You Luigi has the beef with Oh God No Mario for being better than him, and Mr. L has beef with his Mario for like dropping him into the lava, which made him like this. And yeah, and I thought I would do something like this for the two Luigis that really hate their brothers. Honestly, I think I'll just put it in A tier, like somewhere over there. Yeah. Anyways, the next one is the Cartoon Cat versus Luna Henderson Really Happy 2K22. This one is released in April 2nd, 2025. And this is like a really fascinating cover I did because we got Cartoon Cat against Luna Henderson once again, but this time with Cartoon Cat transforming into all of his phases in each section, like Phase 1 to Phase 2 to Phase 3 to Phase 1 to Phase 2 to Phase 1 to Phase 3, and then his final Phase 4. This cover is kind of a big deal, and honestly, it is pretty cool, and a really awesome cover that I did. So I think I'm gonna put this in like S tier again, maybe somewhere around right there. Now this one is gonna be, it's another boring cover. It's Too Slow Encore, but with Mr. L in it, and it was released in April 4th, 2025, and it's kind of the same reasoning as the Slenderman one. And well, maybe you can argue that we got Mr. L in it, and Mr. L is a pretty cool character that people like, but the cover itself is kind of boring, and again, it was outclassed by other stuff that has been released now. So it's gonna be in the C tier with the Slenderman one, and yeah. Now, this one is actually a pretty interesting cover to talk about, and this is Spinel Cartoon Cat vs. Sunky in the Cartoon Jam cover. It was released in April 5th, 2025, and I will say that this cover is really interesting because, well, for starters, we got Spinel Cartoon Cat, which he's basically like Spinel, but as Cartoon Cat. And then we got Sunky, and Sunky is kind of like a meme character in Sonic.exe, but I mean, technically, Spinel Cartoon Cat is kind of a meme too, and it's basically a cover for the two meme characters. And honestly, I think this cover is not too bad. It was decent, so probably somewhere like an A tier. Yeah. This next one is gonna be the Cartoon Cat Sings Paranoia, and it was released in April 6, 2025. This cover is actually really insane because, well, Cartoon Cat actually took over my computer, just like what Mr. Virtual did when I first originally played Paranoia, and Cartoon Cat took like control over my computer now. This cover scares me a lot because It frightens me that Cartoon Cat actually took over my whole computer when I did this cover, and that scared me too much, man. But, you know, at least the cover itself is pretty good, and it's honestly gonna be like an S tier somewhere in right there. Yep. So next one is gonna be, it's not really like, I mean, it is a Cartoon Cat cover, but it doesn't have Cartoon Cat in it. We have Cartoon Dog and Luna Henderson singing Health Inspection. And this is released on April 7th, 2025. And this cover is just about Luna and boyfriend just rapping in the Cartoon Cat mall, and then Cartoon Dog just shows up with him holding girlfriend. Yeah, I do think the cover is pretty cool, and to be honest, I was watching it sometimes and I kind of got into an affection of it. And honestly, it's a really cool cover in my opinion, and it's gonna be somewhere like an S for me. Maybe like right there. And now this one is actually the cover I did before I started my break. This is the Cartoon Cat and Cartoon Dog versus Luna Henderson in the 88 Rings cover. This was released in April 8th, 2025. This cover, I will say, it's not too bad of a cover, but I mean, I do like 88 Rings, but I can admit that it is a very short song because it's not even at least like 2 minutes, and that's why it's not really the special cover that it was supposed to be. But I mean, if it wants to be a short song, it can be a short song, and I'll just probably put this in like an A tier, maybe like right there. Yeah. Alright, so the next cover is gonna be where I actually came back from my break and did this cover, which is the Toon Swing but Toon Cartoon Cat against Sonic, or I don't know if that is actually Sonic. This cover was released in April 19th, 2025. This cover it's not like really the best because there's nothing too special about it. It's just the Toon version of Cartoon Cat against Sonic in the Toon Swing song, and it's not really like the biggest thing from some of the other covers that I did, but it's not too bad. I think I'll just probably put this in like, I guess a B tier, because it was kind of like an alright cover. Okay, this next cover is the Cartoon Cat sings the Freak Poster song, and this was also released in April 19th, 2025, and people actually started to like this cover a lot. Like, it was already getting like a bunch of views and people were already starting to like it because we got the yellow freak poster, which people are really afraid of, and we got our lovely Cartoon Cat in it as well. And oh boy, this is an amazing cover, I will say. And this cover, honestly, it's pretty fire. Well, actually, it's more than fire. I think it's peak. Yep. I am so putting this in like an S tier. In like right there. Okay. This next one I actually did on my own. This is the Horror Mario vs. Sonic.exe. It's a me retake cover, and it's released in April 20, 2025. So what I did here is I decided to make an It's a Me retake cover of both Horror Mario and Sonic.exe. And yes, more covers of Horror Mario vs. Sonic.exe, my favorite. Overall, I will say this cover is actually pretty nice. And honestly, the It's a Me retake is actually better than the original because it has like, you know, better BPM changes in each section, and it has the best key of all, which is in the key of E minor. And overall, it's an awesome cover. So if I'm gonna be honest, I'll put it in like an S tier, maybe somewhere like, I don't know where to put it. Maybe maybe like right there. Yeah. Okay, we're almost done here. I think we got like 7 more to go. So I'm gonna try to do this quickly. So this cover right here I did on my own, and this is the Hypno vs. Girlfriend Static Kingdom cover. This is also released in April 2025, and I decided to do my first Static Kingdom cover because everyone made their own Static Kingdoms covers, and I thought of doing my own. I chose Hypno for this because I thought of doing it because we know Hypno and MX are friends, and I thought I could like replace MX with Hypno and also doing it with Girlfriend, because we know in the original Hypno's Lullaby mod, Hypno like faces against Girlfriend in all 3 songs and is weak, and yeah, and honestly it's a pretty awesome cover, and for me it's gonna be like an S tier, somewhere like right there. Okay, so this next one is the Cartoon Cat versus the Sonic.exe and the Fright Fest cover. The first Fright Fest cover ever made. It was released in April 23rd, 2025. This cover is the first cover I did for a Fright Fest cover, and also this is, I guess, like the prequel from the rerun Sonic.exe cover, and honestly it's pretty cool, and yeah, I think it was pretty nice, I will say, but it's not really like the best like the reruns cover. It's honestly gonna be like probably an A tier for me. I think I'm gonna put it somewhere like right there. Yeah, so we got 5 more. So the next one is another Toon Swing cover. We got Toon Cartoon Cat versus Cartoon Bendy in the Toon Swing cover. This was released in April 26, 2025. And it's kind of the same reasoning from the Sonic cover, but except we got Bendy there, and you know, it was okay. It's not really the best cover ever for me. It was just alright in my own opinion, and I'm also gonna put this in B tier. Yeah. Alright, the next one is the MX vs. Luna Henderson in the Static Kingdom cover. And this was released in April 27th, 2025. Now this cover, Luna is actually facing against MX, and I know some of you will be saying, wait, but shouldn't she be fighting against either Cartoon Dog or Cartoon Cat instead? Well, this is just something of like, what if Luna Henderson actually entered the Horror Mario cartridge and then faced against one of the Horror Mario characters, which is MX. But overall, it's pretty awesome, and honestly, I'm probably gonna put this in like an S tier, like right there. So we got the last 3. I'm gonna try to go through all of this quickly. So this one is Costume Mario Sings Equinophobia. This is released in April 28, 2025. And this cover, I will say, is like my first ever Costume Mario cover. And this is kind of a creative idea to do something like this. And the part where Ultra M shows up is also kind of a good idea, because after ending it off in the first part against Costume Mario, Boyfriend just saw Ultra M, and then yeah. And also, I did add the Ultra M dialogues in it, and I thought that was a pretty good idea to do it instead of looking at Ultra M. And honestly, I'll just put it in somewhere like an A tier, maybe like right there. Okay, so this next one is actually the first Poppy Playtime cover I did in FNF. We got Huggy Wuggy singing Fright Fest, and it was released in May 1st, 2025. So I will say the Huggy Wuggy cover I did in the Fright Fest cover, I think it was kind of a good idea because you know, Huggy Wuggy is like one of the main toys in Poppy Playtime, and honestly, he's kind of a cool character in Poppy Playtime, and I thought of doing a cover of him, and yeah, this is what I did. And honestly, it's a pretty cool cover, so probably in like an A tier, like right there. Alright, last one. We got the Cartoon Dog versus Boyfriend in the Overdue retake cover, and it was released in May 3rd, 2025. So this cover, it was actually requested by somebody, and it's actually kind of a cool cover I did because, well, for starters, we finally got Boyfriend singing Overdue, and then we got Cartoon Dog here, which is just Boyfriend facing against Cartoon Dog, like just only Cartoon Dog, no cartoon cat anywhere. And I think my favorite part in this was probably boyfriend interacting with Long Horse, because we obviously know that Long Horse is trying to tell or warn boyfriend about what's gonna come next, and then after that, boyfriend just comes back and faces cartoon dog again, and yeah. But overall, this cover is really cool, and honestly, it will probably be in an S for me, maybe somewhere like, right there. But anyways, that's it. That is all of the tier list of ranking my 50 FNF covers. And honestly, man, that is so much that I ranked. Whew. I think I probably recorded this video for like probably an hour, maybe even over an hour. But yeah, that's a lot to go through, but we at least managed to make the whole list of me ranking every 50 FNF covers I did through 2024 to 2025. Oh man, let me know what you think of it and give me your own rankings of what you think about these covers. And yeah, whew. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end this off now, everybody. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time. Oh man, that's a lot of work. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please consider subscribing and liking the video, as it helps the channel out a lot.